Celtic cross for Leo. Celtic cross for Leo. Messages for Leo that will help them on their highest path. Ooh. Six of Pentacles. I feel like this is the card of breadcrumbing. This is giving to get. This is possibly giving to more than one. Now, Five of Swords. Perhaps you were giving charity in some way, or somebody was giving to you, or you were giving to multiple people. This led to conflict. Five of Swords in the reverse. This could be pride, empty victory. Empty victories. This could be resentment, desire to reconcile, desire to forgive. I don't know. Oh, desire to give, maybe. I feel like there's like some resentment. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll work with you. I'll give to you some, I'll give to you. But I feel like you were possibly giving to get, or you were giving to multiple people, which led to arguments. And now there's an inner turmoil and fighting. There's resentment. It's like, I don't want to argue anymore. I'm not going to fight with you about this. I don't feel like there's anything to fight about. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong, or somebody wants to come back and give to you, or you want to come back and give to somebody and stop a fight, maybe. Stop arguing. You want to give something, possibly, to get something, to stop the argument. Foundation is the Eight of Pentacles. This is working, building skill. This is working on something in particular. Maybe the foundation. You could have been in a codependent situation or relationship. Maybe you were in some kind of shared situation where you're both collectively like have a shared home with paying the bills. Like you are having some kind of collaborative, collective like gain by dealing with each other in some kind of way. Perhaps somebody was really skilled and masterful in this situation, and the other person was out of work in some kind of way, and was like you were kind of supporting the other person, or they were supporting you in some kind of way. And perhaps either you or they were giving to multiple people. I see some breadcrumbing here. Perhaps if they were supporting in you some kind of way, perhaps this kind of affected your confidence, your your ego in some kind of way, and your self-worth in some kind of way. And perhaps you kind of try to find it in other ways, like within third parties, or like attention, or like, you know, spreading your energy out to different areas and people and situations, and you kind of stopped giving that much to the situation because of it. Because it could have been a lack of confidence if you did have to rely on this person for a time being. Now, I feel like you want to give to the situation now. Perhaps this past situation of you giving to multiple people brought you in a lot of conflict and fighting and competition. Maybe that was even your way of trying to get, I don't know, some kind of attention back into this relationship, or find your self-worth in some way to get some kind of attention. It did bring a lot of conflict, this giving to multiple people, to find that. And you don't want this to be a continuous issue anymore. Somebody is working hard. They're building their skill and mastery. This was the foundation. And I feel like somebody was the breadwinner in this situation, and that was the foundation. There was some kind of codependency in some kind of way, you know, and it just kept on feeding the other. Like, one person could have been codependent on receiving help. The other person could have been codependent on giving some kind of help. And then you go back into the situation, and the person receiving help feels awful about themselves, you know, and then they give to multiple people to gain some kind of like self-worth, but then it led to arguments there. And now they don't want to argue about it anymore. They don't want to fight anymore. They don't want to have this competition anymore, because it seems like whatever tactic that was used to make themselves feel more valuable, or to make themselves look more valuable in the eyes of their partner, who was kind of footing the bill on everything, kind of backfired, because it seems like somebody doesn't want to fight for the situation anymore, because it was like it became too much of a conflict, and now there's resentment, and now there's, and whatever situation, if this person was giving you some kind of money, they felt unappreciated in some kind of way, or you them, and now they don't want to fight for this relationship anymore. And they're through giving to a situation if they felt they already gave too much. Now, in the past, because they worked so damn hard, and or you did, and it seems like no matter how much they worked or how much they did, they felt unappreciated. You or them, maybe both of you, felt that way about the other. In the past, there was justice. You could have been dealing with a Libra, but the scales were definitely imbalanced. Somebody was footing most of the bill. Somebody could have been out of work, and somebody was just doing more and more and more, and it just became an expectation. And, you know, like the person on the other side just took and took and took, and they stopped making initiative to actually start giving to the situation as well. And in the past, it became, things actually started to balance out in some way. Maybe somebody was caught giving to a third party, like flirting, you know, possibly online, text messages, people around the neighborhood, people, you know, like that they worked with, I don't know, Maybe it's the partner that was constantly working all of the time and you were home with the kids and you find out that they were giving to multiple people. But then this was found out. Justice came in. It set the scales. There could have been a court situation that came in, a divorce possibly, or a separation. But whatever unbalanced situation that it happened or dynamic that it created, now things are setting itself back to scale. And it brought an ending. This is an ending to one chapter and a beginning to another. This could be a divorce. This could be, this could be a long distance situation. I don't know. Perhaps you or that other person was contacting somebody, like a long distance kind of person, and this was found on email or something. And this is kind of that thing that brought the ending about. It brought truth and clarity to a situation, things as to why things weren't working out, as to why somebody was not wanting to put into the relationship anymore, why somebody seemed uninterested or like uncompromising, or why that everything was so amazingly unbalanced, and whatever partner that was constantly giving all the time, they stopped really caring about what your thoughts or feelings were, or vice versa, because the truth came out, because there was breadcrumbing that was happening. Perhaps somebody was giving to multiple situations. Perhaps the person that was out of work had a lot of time on their hands and they had nothing else to do, so then they would go out and chat and like flirt and things like that. Or perhaps a person at work was just resentful of having to take care of everything after a while, and then they went out and dealt with somebody at work. I don't know. But whatever that was being hidden in the past, or if they had like a long distance relationship somewhere, or someone in a different town or city or country, whatever truth that was being hidden in the past, it brought itself to light. Whatever that was being hidden made itself known. There was a revelation that happened, a revelation of truth. Whatever truth that was found out led to a final judgment, a decision. So it depicts the rapture, where people ended up, when God comes back into the world, and he will bring up all that is pure and worthy up into heaven, while everybody else on land will perish, things like this. But it's final judgment. You made a final decision due to the truth making itself known, and the truth that somebody was giving to multiple situations, and you didn't want to fight for this anymore because you're done giving constantly to the situation, or you. Now, you made a final judgment. They see you as coming out of heartbreak, 3 of Swords in reverse. So, this is moving on, recovering. They see you as moving on, coming out of heartbreak, making a final judgment because you see the truth now. Or perhaps you were giving to multiple people and they found out this about you. And perhaps you decided to go with a third party and they're trying to move on. Or perhaps they were caught having a third party and They know that you don't want to deal with them anymore, and they're trying to move out of the situation. They see that you're trying to move on or away from the situation because, they betrayed you. This is a huge betrayal of trust. This is something that when found out, like, you can't go back. This is something that was just such... I feel like this was a divorce. This was a court case, and whatever imbalance, it made itself balanced, and the truth was found out, and they see you as trying to heal and move on from the situation. Your hopes and fears, the things that you need to learn to help you within your journey is the star. You hope for healing. You're wishing for something in particular, but perhaps it's needing to go on a journey on your own and heal within yourself, and perhaps you were ignoring yourself for a really long time, and you've been with somebody for so long that you're actually afraid of life, what life will be on your own. Perhaps you have a certain wish that you want to go towards, and you actually would like to reach for your wish, but there's a fear of it as well. There's a fear of facing your demons. There's a fear of facing your demons to have that inner healing and your past wounds, and perhaps you were going through a period where you've done a good job for ignoring it for as long as you did, but you found out when you did, it left you stagnant, and it brought a lot of endings. And perhaps that healing is to need that extra source of validation even more than the person that you're with, or not admitting to yourself as to if you're unhappy, as long as you're getting some certain kind of gain, or you're not getting exactly what you want, as long as you're getting some kind of gain from it. I don't know, but there's a healing that needs to happen within yourself, or, just from the situation. Now, you feel maybe if you were caught, you try to go back towards the situation and work it out on, but I feel like in the end, this is something that needs to be put to rest. Maybe you're too overextended, and you're going towards something that you feel like is your wish and your dream. You have a wish, but it feels like you feel burnt out from the situation, that maybe it needs to be put to rest. Maybe I need to give it a rest now, instead of like being that playboy or playgirl and trying to find that validation, all this other situations, because maybe I have to stop. Maybe this is even rehab, Four of Swords. This is crazy. It seems like there could even be an ending. I don't know. Is this like a death in the family? Maybe this was a death in the family, and there could have been a will or inheritance or something like that, and there could have been a fight over some kind of will or inheritance, and some evidence came out, or some kind of like settlement, if it's a divorce or something, that somebody had hidden bank accounts, or like there could have been some kind of fight against like child support, or like spousal payments or something like that. And whatever made itself known, it helped you get judgment, and truth was found out, truth was seen, and it helped you get judgment. You're seeing things as it is now. Whatever you've seen or brought itself to light was whatever that you were giving these third or fourth parties, or they were giving, was an illusion. Like it wasn't worth it. And now they want to heal the situation, but they think that you are ready to move on from the situation, and I think that you are. Your goal is to take a rest from the situation. That's going to be the final outcome of the situation. Your goal is to put an end to this. It's like, whatever, the truth has been found out. This is the way it is. I'm going to accept it. Yeah, I wish for some kind of healing, but, I don't think it's going to be an improvement on anyone's part. I just need to put an end to this and to heal from this situation on both parts. This is both parts, something that will be the overall outcome. You need to heal from this. This has been an ending to a life cycle. This has been a lot of lessons learned, at least I hope so. And although it is painful, it will lead to a new beginning of truth, instead of just being somewhere in purgatory, like in a stagnant situation where nobody's really happy, but you end up keeping each other stuck forever, and nobody's really getting what they want, and they block out every opportunity to get what they want. As long as they keep everything the same, it's like, it's not better or great, it's just maintaining what is, and it was really draining on both parts. And I think that there wasn't a lot left in terms of like love. There was like a lot of resentment. There was a lot of there was even resentment if you were dependent on this person, resentment for them that they were making all of that and you had to depend on them, or they you, and which made them to feel bad about themselves, or you feel bad about yourself. And either or, whatever, in the end, I don't think that it was just that. It was something that just kind of ran its course, and you were keeping each other stuck in purgatory. And now at least it's like, it's a release from a situation that was like not doing well. It wasn't sustainable for the long term. This is codependency. This is addiction. This is control. There's an ending to this, and it will lead to a rest from the situation. Perhaps whatever situation, like you both felt controlled by the other, and whatever toxic dynamic that you had going on, it kept you both stuck. And it was both highly toxic. And now that it is done, you could actually get some independent healing from this and be actually delivered from purgatory. And I see this with the judgment. This is how you feel like you were in purgatory, and now you're released from this hell of being stuck. And maybe if you didn't want the truth to be known, and now that it's known, you feel better. Or maybe you didn't want to know the truth, but it became so blatantly obvious that you couldn't ignore it anymore. And because you both didn't want to see what was really there, and once it was seen, you were able to release it, and it will give you an opportunity to move on and grow, and actually give yourself an opportunity to get what you want for a change. Because, sometimes we're not all meant to be together forever. We're meant to be with each other, to learn lessons from the other. And when we learn that lesson, when we evolve to a certain part, once karma is, expelled and lesson learned, it's time to move on. And if you don't move on, you stay stagnant and stuck, and you will feel oppressed. Oh, yeah. There's a justice. This is whatever imbalance in this family situation. Then it brought itself back into balance because there was a lack of support with each other. Somebody was giving more than the other, and there's an end to this now. Because no matter who you were supporting nonstop, they were giving to other people, or they you. And it was just a lack of happiness on both parts, and it's like you both saw this. And it became so blatantly obvious that you couldn't look away. And I feel like that somebody was unfaithful, or there was a truth about unfaithfulness that brought itself into light, and it just amplified what was already there and what you kind of didn't want to see. And it did that for both of you. It had to end in order for you to heal and to progress and move on from the situation. You had to heal to be able to be released from purgatory. It was fated to be this way. It was fated to be released in order to get your healing, because you were holding each other back. There could have even been some kind of death and inheritance, and that could have been found out. Or if not, this is just a release or an ending to a toxic relationship, marriage, or partnership in some kind of way. And it was like both bleeding everything that you have within each other's life independently, like away from each other. It was sucking out the happiness from both of your lives. And now look, once this is released, you feel like you could finally breathe, because you know it's something that needed to end. It became like sometimes the universe will just bring constant issues and constant problems and constant, until you're like, God, I have to let go. The pressure, the velocity is too hard for me to hold on, and it's making me release it. And it's like, let go, you'll be fine. And you finally let go, and you find out, holy crap, I am fine, and this is better than having to deal with this. There was a fear of letting go before, but now it's like, the more that I knew I had to let go, but I didn't, the more we just hurt each other. And maybe you both collectively found this out. And now, once you were able, it was fated to end in order for you to obtain your independent healing and to be able to breathe again, because you were suffocating each other. And it was like a mutual control. It became so toxic and heavy. And this was something that had to end. And it's like, you finally release, you'll be fine, just let go, just let go. You're like, no, I won't. And then finally you let go, and you're like, holy crap, I feel so much better, instead of hanging on by my fingertips, terrified that if I let go, I'll die. But then you fall into the water, and, like you're away from that plane that is plunging into the ocean, and you were able to swim to shore, And you're like, that's a lot better than clinging on by my fingertips. You know what I mean? And I'm alive. And now I could breathe. maybe whatever came into your life that made itself known, it was a bit serendipitous. Perhaps you will come into a happy accident situation that seems like kind of divinely guided or in-tuned. Perhaps this divinely guided or in-tuned situation that made itself known to be able to release both of you from this toxic situation. But what it does, it leads to independence. 8 + 1 is 9. And once you were led to your own independence, your own freedom, you are now able to reconnect with the divine. It's like the universe was telling you to let go. Okay, I'll let go. Finally, you did. And now look, you're on your way towards universe's path that was meant for you. But that's what I got for you, Leo. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets the word out. Donation box below if you feel moved to do so. If not, I still love you lots, and I will talk to you later. Bye.